I now call on Meg Lussman, Vice Chair of Court of Glasgow Caledonian University, to open today's proceedings.
Acting Deputy Vice-Chancellor, members of Court and Senate, distinguished guests, members of staff of Glasgow Caledonian University, graduates, ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to welcome you all to this graduate ceremony to celebrate our students' achievements. It's wonderful to welcome you here as life starts to return to normal after the pandemic. Today marks the culmination of what we hope has been an exhilarating, challenging, and of course very busy period in your lives. It's an opportunity for each of you to reflect upon your achievements and upon the doors of opportunity that your awards will have opened in your lives. We very much value our relationship with you and hope that this will continue after your graduation. Glasgow Caledonian University has more than 150,000 graduates across the world, and we're delighted that you will become part of our scholarly community. We know you will be excellent ambassadors for the university, and we shall follow your success with pride. I now have great pleasure in officially opening this graduate ceremony, and I hope you all have a very happy, memorable, and enjoyable day.
Simon McKerrell, Head of Department of Media and Journalism, will introduce our guest speaker, Laura Boyd.
Morning, everyone. Today we are honoured to have GCU graduate and prominent journalist Laura Boyd give the address. Since graduating from GCU with a BA in Communication and Mass Media, Laura has crafted a hugely successful career as a journalist, known to many from STV. She began more than 20 years ago as an assistant editor on television drama and sport, working across programmes such as Taggart, Scott Sport and Politics Now, and quickly pursued every opportunity available to her, building a growing and successful trajectory in her career. Today, she is most recognisable as the co-presenter of What's On Scotland, and from her podcast Out Out, and from her column in the Sunday Mail. She has forged a very public profile as one of our leading entertainment journalists. Whether interviewing Lewis Capaldi, Brian Cox, Dolly Parton, Charlene Spiteri, Ian McKellen or Rod Stewart, or indeed contributing publicly to many varied charity appeals, Laura brings with her a very visible and public life while championing issues close to her heart. Many of you will know that this is a time of significant transition in the broadcast industries, and the debate around public service broadcasting, commercial and streaming services continues to make headlines itself. As a journalist working in commercial broadcasting, Laura can speak with meaningful experience about how we can meet and thrive in the ever-changing landscape for graduates entering work today. And importantly, for a speaker at graduation, Laura can speak to both the attitudes and the qualities that graduates need to succeed in their working lives, but also to the adversity and challenges that everyone has to overcome in personal and working lives. These things matter, and it's a great privilege for us to hear from her in person today. Please welcome Laura Boyd.
Deputy Vice-Chancellor, members of the Executive, graduands, ladies and gentlemen, it is my absolute pleasure and a true honour, and I mean that, to be here this morning to celebrate all of you who are graduating from Glasgow Caledonian University, a place that holds a special place in my heart. Now, a graduation ceremony is always a momentous occasion, but I think today, in particular, there's an added layer of celebration because I know for many of you it's been long awaited due to COVID. Yes, you thought you had got out of wearing these robes, but oh no, you too will have that lovely photo opportunity clutching your scroll that will haunt you for the rest of your life as it lingers on your parent or family member's mantelpiece for all to see. They will be so proud, you'll be mildly mortified, but in all seriousness, you shouldn't be, because this is a huge moment worth marking. You've done it. The studying, the sleepless nights, the exams, the constant refreshing of word count when writing your essays to see if you've reached that elusive 10,000 words, the panicking over that pile of overdue library books taunting you from the corner of your room, the dissertation brain fog, all of it, it's done and dusted. University, you've completed it, with an added layer though of missing out on face-to-face lectures and interaction with friends. Graduating is always an achievement, but I truly believe that you all here today deserve an extra added pat on the back. So now, it's time to go forth and find your spark, the thing that really makes you tick. I know many of you are already working, so will have done or be doing that, but I really believe there's a moment inside of all of us where we go, this is me. This is what I was meant to do. This is my spark. Well, my own spark was ignited during my time at Caledonian University. And when I was asked to deliver the speech here today, it got me thinking about all those years at that building just across the road. I graduated around 20 years ago, which makes me feel really, really old, so we'll gloss over that. But I had a 2-1 in communication and mass media. I remember my first day on the course when you've got no clue what you're doing or where you're going or what to expect. I sat next to a girl called Pamela, and she immediately asked me if I wanted to go out that night to Freshers' Week, and I knew I'd found a friend for life. Many study days that turned into party nights later, and she was my bridesmaid 5 years ago and remains one of my closest friends to this day. I got Pam and I got other friends out of my time at university, but what else did I get? Well, experience and knowledge that I honestly still use to this very day. My course gave me my first taste of what it was like to make a documentary, the storyboarding and the ruthless edits required to tell a story in a set duration, which I use almost daily in my job as a reporter at STV News now. It taught me about deadlines and working under pressure, sourcing material, delivering presentations, which again stood me in good stead for my job, where I speak often live to the nation. Do you know what? Speaking live on a TV camera is actually far less nerve-wracking than speaking to you all here today. And why is that? Well, if I say something on TV, or I make a faux pas, which is very rare, just don't Google my name because they'll all come up, it becomes old news very quickly. I'll be a meme at most. This though, this I really hope is a day you will never forget, wherever your career takes you, so I want to ensure it's memorable for all the right reasons. My own graduation day was memorable for a number of reasons. Firstly, on the morning of graduation, my mum presented me with the greatest gift I have ever been given, a set of GHD hair straighteners. 20 years ago, they had just come out, and for someone with hair like Monica from Friends, if you know that iconic episode, the frizz bomb, that was me. So this was a life-changing moment. What a start to the day. I may hate those graduation pictures, but my goodness, I have the best, sleekest hair I've ever had in my life. The ceremony was great fun. Working out how to get the ropes to sit properly, which I'm clearly still struggling with to this day. Praying I didn't fall when walking onto the stage, and spotting my proud mum and dad in the crowd, delighted that not only I was graduating, that I'd actually made the ceremony in time, because that was a miracle for me. Well, it was just something quite special. I also vividly remember going for my graduation dinner at a restaurant called La Fiorentina, then topping it all off with a night with my fellow graduating buddies at the institution that is the Glasgow Garage. It was a favourite spot throughout our university days, please tell me it is just as grimy and sticky and stinky and fun as it was back then. I loved it, and I love that it still exists to this day. During my 4th year at uni, I managed to secure a week's work experience at STV, and this was the holy grail for a media student like me. For the first time, I got to see all I had been learning about in action, and I thought it was the coolest and most exciting place ever. I knew I wanted to work there and hoped it would happen. I just wasn't sure how. A few days after my graduation, when I had just about recovered from the garage hangover, I got a call from one of the bosses at STV to ask if I would be interested in a job as an assistant editor. I had not a clue what that was, but of course I screamed down the phone, "Yes, count me in." So fast forward a few days, and there I was, walking through the office's infamous doors to become an assistant editor. I mean, that sounds glamorous. I was basically labelling tapes, making cups of tea, and putting captions and credits on programmes. But do you know what? I felt like the luckiest girl on the planet. The place I had longed to work, that I had spent 4 years studying for, in the hope that I would one day get a foot in the door. I was there, and I was loving it. I'd found my spark. And it's a spark that still burns inside me to this day, and one which I really hope shines when I am on TV, because it took me a while and so many different roles along the way to get there. But that assistant editor eventually became a TV reporter and presenter, so it was worth those thousands of cups of tea that I had to make. I hope my old lecturers who inspired me, the likes of Ian Mowat and Ken Garner, are proud. I will never take for granted that I get up every day and do a job that I truly love. I know not everyone is as lucky, but I honestly believe whatever